to Elusive Truth with Rich, and sometimes, no, we have Larry with us today. Can you believe it? It's been a long time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this journey down the rabbit hole, because you got two crazy old men talking about clown world. Here we go. Hey, Gary, nice to see you again. I'm glad you stopped by to talk. It's been a long time.
Well, Rich, this is Larry, my friend. You got it.
Wow. I'm glad to see you. I hope you're doing better, but I'm telling you, this world is getting crazier by the minute. I can't even keep up with it. And such a point that a lot of times I don't even like to do a podcast because it's so depressing with all the stuff that's happening right now.
And changing so fast.
Oh,
what you give one day, it just keeps dumping in on us.
It's like piling up, and they keep throwing stuff at us. I mean, I understand, things aren't always going to work out to our advantage, but oh my goodness, the stuff that's been going on.
Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start off with what's been going on in France. You been hearing anything with that?
Oh, with Biden going over there?
No. Apparently, they've been having a civil war for the past. Now, I don't know if it's the few days late, but last week they had 6 days in a row of riots from the citizens stemming from a young man was shot and killed by police in a car. And I think he was an immigrant. It's spun out of control. I mean, they're burning buildings, they're looting, they're destroying cars.
Who are they rebelling against?
The government.
The government. No, that's always a good thing any country does.
Well, then I saw it was, they're trying to blame it on all the immigrants that they let into the country from Somalia and all those places.
They're not simulating to the culture?
Something to that effect. But I saw in an interview where a guy was like, we're doing this to France to show them that they can't push us around. They took over our country centuries ago. We're taking over France. So you have that spin, you have the spin of police brutality, and you have the spin of the citizens revolting against Macron and his crazy government from all the stuff they're trying to do. But it's a shitstorm. It's terrible. And the news is barely showing us.
Yeah, I think it's good because Macron is a bad guy.
I just saw a picture of Paris, and it looks like a slumlord. It's crazy. I mean, stuff is happening that we have no clue what's going on. And and I don't even know if I have the right facts because we're not getting the right information. But I've seen enough that it's bad. France has been burning for 6 days, and I think this was last week. I don't know if they're continuing. The crazy thing is that another spinoff of this is that the French government is using people's phones to triangulate if you were part of the riots and if you were there at the scene. They're using your information and they're listening on the phones of the people trying to organize, and they're going after those people now. Stuff that they never said they do, and it's already happening. Just like the Chinese cracking down on their citizens of, if they jaywalk or if they're going too far out of their boundaries or just their daily lifestyle.
But their social credit score goes up or down.
Right. There's a whole thing on that. We could do a whole podcast just on that.
Look what happened to our January 6th people.
That's how they found them.
Yeah.
They went to their phones to triangulate who was there and if they were in the building or not. And they're not letting that part out.
And we're so addicted we can't go anywhere without our phone. If we could leave it at home and go somewhere,
right,
we might.
Yeah, and a lot of this came from Russell Brand. This came from Elon Musk. This came from Tucker Carlson. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on that, again, we are being misdirected. We're worried about 5 people on a sub that blew up or imploded, going down to look at the Titanic. There's still, even the news stories today, like, oh, they're so sorry how it imploded.
Nobody was even on it. That was distraction because of Durham. Durham had all the indictments when that came out.
Yes, and I do have a clip that I'll play from the Durham report.
You do?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know a little bit of stuff that
straight from the horse's mouth. Straight from the horse's mouth, they're showing what's really been going on. And then I just got a clip that I'll play in a moment for you, but it's the FBI director, Ray is being questioned by senators and congressmen in front of the House Judicial Committee. the guy is a total politician, avoiding the questions. I don't know this. I can't talk on this. I can't do this. And, the guy is, I could run the FBI better than he.
After hearing him talk.
But, oh my goodness.
Is he actually flipped and on the good side? That was my take. He was so stupid.
No.
He's a total bad guy.
Well, the part I will play you with is that I have this congressman explaining. So you went to President Trump's house in Mar-a-Lago under the police and this raid and an actual sitting president that you're raiding their stuff. Yet when you went to Joe Biden's house, it was just a casual carousing.
Going to his garage next to the Corvette, there's the boxes.
Right. From when he was a senator and vice president. He wasn't even president. He's not allowed to have that stuff. And Ray goes, oh, that's past my jurisdiction. I can't do anything with that. When you listen to the clip and you listen to Ray and his responses, you already know that he's lying. He's not telling the truth. He's evading the questions.
Look at how the whole Mueller investigation turned out to be. That he wouldn't say anything. Remember that?
Yeah. It really shows you what these people really are.
Yeah.
And to me, you would think that the director of the FBI would be some super smart guy that knows what's going on and controlling all of his agents, which I can't say he controls everyone with downright 100%.
He's still the boss.
Right, but he just acts like he don't know anything about nothing. And so furthermore, it came out today that the Secret Service has stopped their investigation on the White House cocaine that was found.
Oh,
and guess what? They don't have any suspects. They don't know.
There's no cameras there?
They don't know. It's the most secure building in the world. They don't know who did this. Which tells you they know exactly who did this. They know where that cocaine came from. You have the press secretary saying hundreds and thousands of people tour the White House every day, which is a lie. Mm-hmm. If you're a felon, you can't go into the White House. They do screenings, just even their little tours. But they were saying all these people had access. Then it was the West Wing near the Situation Room, which no one gets into unless you have clearance.
Tourists don't even go there.
But they whitewash that, and they don't want you to know anything that's going on.
That, I think, could be another distraction. Who cares about cocaine in the White House when we're trying to get Trump back in?
Yes, but the whole thing is that the White House is one of the most secure buildings in the world, and now they're telling we have no idea who put the cocaine there.
They got it on camera.
Tucker Carlson says it's Hunter Biden. It's his.
Yeah.
He's a known cocaine crack addict.
And they couldn't get any fingerprints off it or no DNA.
The CIA, the FBI said they use special enhanced DNA and fingerprint analysis, and they can't figure it out. And they've been looking at the tapes of who's near, because now it comes out that, it's a cubbyhole where people put their cell phones in. But the cell phones, if you put in the cubbyhole, is that for the public going through, or is that for the actual aides going into the Situation Room that they don't want the stuff to be recorded? There's so much
It's probably coming from a politician if it ain't Hunter. There's probably cocaine going in and out of that White House all the time. I'm just kidding.
But now the joke is that, no, it's not Hunter's. It's actually Biden's cocaine, because that's how he's able to stay awake now. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. Anywhere else, if they found cocaine at a high school, they will find the perpetrators. But not at the White House. No, sirree. They won't find that there.
That's another joke when we just got to get through this whole thing.
That's what I'm trying to say. That we can go on and on of all the craziness going on that's going on out there. It's nuts just from that. And then, of course, the aliens or non-aliens or whatever. The
false alien vision still could come.
Right, Project Bluebeam.
Yep.
That's going to happen. Which then brings us back to that last thing last week, that lady in Texas said she saw a non-human, or as you put it, the NPC waiter or the stewardess or whatever you want to, flight attendant, said it was not human and you're all going to die to get off the plane. And, that plane was held up for 5 hours after that little thing.
She seemed real sincere watching her stand there in the aisle.
That's what I'm saying. It's just wacky stuff that's going on.
And you know what? I did hear some more about NPCs because we haven't gone out in the public much. We haven't gone to concerts. We haven't done anything in big, situations with, thousands of people like we used to. They're everywhere in these. You go somewhere, you go to a concert, you'll see the zombified person standing around. You go to a parade, you go somewhere, there's going to be any large venue. You start watching, you're going to see NPCs.
It's crazy. And we mentioned before that Night God 333,
Yeah,
showing these clips of some weird people in places that they shouldn't be, and they blink funny. It's not blinking. It's something. It doesn't make sense. My reality is changing every day from what I think I know, what I can perceive, because it's just the crazy stuff that's been happening. And it's the problem. It's not just worldwide. It's down at the local level. Even our jobs that we're talking about right now, things are happening that make no sense. I can't even elaborate on it, but it's just things aren't adding up anymore. It's really, everything is just falling apart. And now it's, who do you believe? What is actually truth? What is disinformation? What is really going on?
It's really hard right now. And I think how the whole shift could take place and how it's going to happen, because we're just going to keep getting dumped with falsehoods and, misinformation. We're going to keep getting dumped with that. I just think that Trump has to get back in real soon, because if there's a financial crash, I'm thinking, personally for me, I think they're going to time it where they got enough evidence on Biden to be booted out, let the crash happen under Biden, and that next day, Trump's all set to come in and clean it up and make it good. Because the financial collapse is one of the biggest things for the world that needs to change. We can't even have votes anywhere in the world because they're all rigged.
All right. Well, they're rigged, and on top of it, people go, "Oh, that's a conspiracy theory that's rigged." No, it's not rigged. BlackRock is controlling that.
Yeah.
I have the next clip that shows the CEO of BlackRock explaining how he can buy politicians off and basically do whatever he wants, and they have a program in place that makes these businesses follow suit or follow their agenda for more equity in the stake of BlackRock, which is trillions and trillions of dollars.
They have more trillions than most countries.
And this was all stuff, that's all hearsay, it's all conspiracy theory, It's all the craziness. And, speaking of that, the number one movie right now is called The Sound of Freedom.
I'm going to it this afternoon. It's playing right next to my house.
Right, and it's talking about child abductions.
That had to come out before Trump gets in.
It's crazy. And the people that are arguing making no sense. This is poor children being into sex slavery, and they're bashing it.
I've had a couple of people say, "Oh, I can't go to it. I can't go to it." Like, it's one of the biggest problems in the world.
Yeah, it's nuts. It is, and this is just a focus on it. And the problem is that these people are trying to downplay it because the movies that are supposed to be the hit summer movies
that would have never gotten through Hollywood 10 years ago. That shows we're getting somewhere.
Right. And now it's also number one. It's beating Raiders of the Lost Ark, beating The Red Door, beating all these high-profile, high-dollar, industry-standard studios type stuff. And this Independent come out, which is a true story about a Homeland Security officer trying to stop this trafficking of children. And it only takes position in Brazil. But it's showing it's a worldwide conflict that everything's happening.
Val and I are booked for it this afternoon.
What's his name? Tim Pool said he watched it. He goes, it's actually a really good movie. It keeps you at the edge of your seat. It's well played, well written. Cinematography's good on it. It's a really good movie.
You got to go to it.
Well, with all the buzz, yeah.
Take your daughter.
No,
you got to.
Yeah, well, the thing is that she's been indoctrinated by the Beaverton School District.
That'll help kick her out of it.
We tried to get her to even think about it, and she says we're old and we're not knowing what we're doing.
What's her reason for not wanting
to go? The teachers. She's been indoctrinated for 9 years already.
So she won't go to it?
No.
She refuses?
Yeah.
BS.
Because that's what she's been trained.
Don't matter. You're dad.
I can't make her go to a movie. You remember, you can't lead a horse to water. They have to find out for themselves.
You can lead him to water. You can't make him drink.
Exactly. But I'm just trying to say is that it creates more conflict. She has to find out for herself. It's not her old man is crazy. He's a white hat. He's a QAnon guy. He's this and
Maybe
that.
she'll go with her friends, you're hoping?
Yeah, but she'd rather go see The Mermaid, a Disney film. She'd rather see Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they say capitalism is dead, and the female is going to be the new antagonist or the protagonist or whatever. It's crazy. And instead of getting upset about that, I show her subtle little hints of what's really going on in the world. At least open your mind to look at it, because it's so closed.
And you said it was done so well. I don't think you leave there upset. You leave there with a conviction to stop this.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that, because we brought that up at the dinner table last night, and she goes, that's just a fallacy. It's not all over the world, and it's not that much sex slavery going on. And it says that's the problem. It's way more than you think it is. And then you start talking about androchrome and all this other stuff and the Hollywood elites. It's all coming together.
That's great.
It's exactly what it is. And the satanic messages that's been blasted to us in the past 2 years.
How can you turn a blind eye to that?
Oh, I tell you, it's frustrating, and it's just a matter of, like I said, the more that you hear and the more that you're bombarded with this is the only way that they're going to be able to understand and figure out what's really going on in this world. Back from the grave here, so to speak. So I know we've been going all over the board, and there's just so much crazy stuff going on. But I know you said you have some good intel for us. Let's start off with, you said the European markets are going to crash, and...
Yes, financially, the whole world is just we're going to go through some financial hardships, without a doubt. Silver is going to shoot up the roof. Gold's, we already have the BRICS nations that are out there with Brazil, India, China, South Africa, and India. Financial is a big deal. When everybody loses their money in the banks and the banks collapse, you're not going to be a happy camper. There's no getting it back. We're going to a rainbow currency. Have you heard of that?
No,
you don't know?
I've not heard of a rainbow
That's
currency.
what they're calling it, because it's going to be multicolored and very beautiful, like a lot of other nations have their currency in many different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a given. When the banks collapse, you can't get your money out. So if you have money at home, you'll be able to exchange it for rainbow currencies. But if you don't have the cash in your hand, your money's gone.
See, that's crazy.
You say that now, when it starts happening to you, there's been a big run on gold. All the multimillionaires are buying gold because it's transportable. You can get $1 million of gold and hold it in one suitcase. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's very, you can't do that with silver. Silver is still 25 an ounce. So, we will see silver going up too.
Yeah, and I've heard Dr. Steve Turley, and there's a lot of people telling you to get gold, to get silver, that type of thing.
You have been hearing that.
I've been hearing that a lot, especially with this changeover to digital currency. Because once it's digital, you have no recourse. If it gets evaporated, you have nothing in your hand. You can't do anything.
And there'll be a lot of cryptos that crash during this thing. There will be 5 or 6 big boys that make it through. I'm not sure which ones.
Right. Well, that's probably the reason why they're coming so hard on crypto, is because it was a way for the average person to still have some type of wealth without the government being able to control it. But my whole thing is that the only thing I don't like with crypto, if we have an EMF or something like that and we don't have electronics anymore, how are you going to do debit? How are you doing electronic stuff if we have no access to internet, or, where silver, gold is a tangible item that people will, even in my prediction, and if the financial system does collapse, $1 is still $1. It represents something. Somebody will be using that as some form of bartering or something, but it's not being backed by anybody anymore. You know what I mean? It's so they can print rainbow money. They can print this and that. It's only as good as the people.
New rainbow money will be asset backed. It's not coming. The Federal Reserve is
But
done.
it has to be backed by the people, because if I think that let's say $10 of rainbow money is worthless, it might not mean anything. But if 1 million people think that $10 of rainbow money is worthless, then it's worthless. You can't. What are you going to get with $10 of rainbow money if no one wants it?
No, they'll have it completely acid back.
Where is it going to be back if I have 55 gallons of crude oil or 55 gallons of gas or diesel? They want that. You think of Mad Max. Think of all that craziness back then when the collapse of civilization took place. It's whatever your local groups or, well, what was that? The Walking Dead. What do they do for bartering and currency and stuff, right? You got zombies everywhere, but you still need guns. You need water. You need, they need to run to a hospital, see if they can get the antibiotics or whatever. This is Hollywood, of course. Translate that into real world stuff. Where water is going to be a vital source of, it's a commodity. Any type of food, anything, to make humans live.
Good food. We're talking about 3D produced chicken. Have you seen that yet?
Well, I already did the podcast of, chicken is only 60% chicken. The rest is chemicals. And, they've been polluting our food so much again, when we thought that biologically engineered food, you make a tomato bigger and redder and do more. Oh no, it's resistance to chemicals that we spray to kill bugs. And like, what? So I totally missed the boat on that. So I had no idea that it was.
We've been poisoned in our
Santos and all that.
In our air,
right? In
our land, in our water, all been poisoned.
And what's the craziest thing that these the chemtrails, all these jets been doing for the past 10 years, it's to block out the view of the. What is that? The Arubu or something that we can't see that's there? And oh my
DARPA
God, dude.
does all their stuff at CERN.
Dude, like I said, I went to high
CERN's
school.
Making portals.
Science says that we are a globe. The planets are a globe. We're in a solar system. They all spin around each other. The sun.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you now, I've seen more stuff to say, no, it's a flat earth. And the government has patents on stuff to try to break through the barrier.
The firmament.
The firmament, right?
We're a spinning ball spinning around on its axis.
But the Bible says that's the firmament we can't break, but that's not true. But now we can. And how are we getting video from Mars of the rovers? And how do we get to the moon if we can't pass the firmament? And then it goes back to just even opening your eyes about Space Force. I think it's just some goofy thing that they finally, but they've been having the works for Space Force for years, or not years, but decades. And then all of a sudden, we have, if you go to Wikipedia, it says we have over 700 spacecraft that, what do you mean spacecraft?
What do we really know for certain then?
We don't know anything. How is, and then how are, if there's aliens and it's UFOs, how are they getting in through our atmosphere? Are they going through wormholes?
Or they could be coming up under the firmament.
Right, through the water. And they've been showing
through
them.
Our oceans. There's out the bottom of the ocean. God only knows.
It's left me perplexed because I can't prove anything. I mean, unless I see it with my own eyes. But
we got to take it inside and go with the only thing that we can believe is the spirit that tells us anything within us.
Right. Well, banding together the human spirit, the human cause, because we have overcome adversary. We can unite. We can be, but they're still pushing the race narrative that I just watched Tim Pool. He was just saying that there's a professor telling all the black people start robbing the white people now. Like, what the hell? And how does that guy get away with saying stuff like that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really.
That's to create more division.
Exactly.
Well, I highly doubt that the official narrative of everything we've been told is true. What do we really know? I gotta, if the narrative is telling us it's true, we've gotten so that we can't almost believe anything.
Well, we've gotten used to believing it. So if they tell us a narrative, that's what the truth is. Finding out all this other stuff through Sumerian tablets and all this other crazy stuff. We've been going on for hundreds of thousands of years. And then when they show stuff like what the pyramids are really for, and the molding or the handprints in solid granite that is as hard as diamonds. You know what I mean? It's wow. It's just like the Bible says, we will not be able to tell the truth from lies or deception from realities. And the only one that's going to be able to save us is God and Jesus, right? They're the only ones that you can have faith in. And they are attacking that constantly.
It's the only guide that I follow.
They're trying to tell us Satan is the one that we need to be following. And Satan is the one that is the true divine God. I mean, and you see it in concerts. You see it at award shows, the Grammys, the Oscars, all this stuff.
And it ain't even subliminal anymore. They put it right in your face.
Exactly. I mean, wow. I never had any idea that as I got older that this is what we would be presented with. I had a totally different outlook on what the future was going to be. And I like this idea of, world coming together, world peace, working together to solve humanitarian efforts like famine and disease, and working together to make a better place for us. And all I see is destruction all around us. Well, look at San Francisco. Look at California. And the worst thing, I hate to change the subject, but they want Newsom to be president? That guy can't even run California.
No.
And what the hell is going on?
San Francisco's going to hell right now. Oh, I got a good friend there. He says that the town is just getting abandoned.
And then we have people we know just moving to California.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely crazy. And that comes back down to the elusive truth. What is truth? What is reality? What's really going on?
Well, whenever we go to ECETI, and James gives us the 4 laws of the universal law, is freedom for all, individual freedom, world peace, prosperity for all, and brotherly sisterly love. He gives us those 4 things every time he does a clearing. We got to just get back to those 4 things and live. Freedom, peace, prosperity, and love.
Yeah, which makes sense, but people don't want to make it that easy. You have to look inside yourself. You have to relax. You have to filter out all the negativity. You have to absorb the better frequencies from the earth. Have intuition and go with your intuition rather than what these naysayers are telling us and how we should act and be a part of it.
And the kids are in such a learning mindset when they're young. They start to believe everything.
Yeah.
You can teach a kid anything.
But my whole point is that we used to call them pedophiles. But now what's the term they're using? People that like younger people. What is that term they've been throwing around now? It's like, what are you talking about?
What does Salty call them?
Oh, we can't say because the cuss words are unbelievable. But Hollywood is, they just do movies. And it's a whole cult. It's a whole religious type thing. And the thing that blew me away is that hearing some Rick the Clown guy explain that Keanu Reeves is one of the head Satanists. I'm like, well, I've heard everything now.
I know.
And then I heard where the Pope is one of them too. Like, no, the Pope isn't. But then you see pictures of the Pope with snakes and bull crap all around him. Like, oh, dude, I don't even know what to think.
And then you got Russell Brand, who was with the biggest witch of all, Katy Perry.
Yeah, well, he left that union.
Well, he did leave that. That's nice.
And he's trying to do the truth, and he goes more on the South that we are self-sufficient. We need to look inside ourselves to help others.
Yeah.
Help yourself first, and then you help others. I'm telling you, it's just gotten so damn crazy. And then we're not even hitting the iceberg. We're talking about, is there going to be an election? Is
Never
Trump
again.
getting back in?
Yeah.
There's so many stuff that goes on.
We can never have another election.
You hear that, they're so worried about Trump that you can see it. They're trying to throw him in jail because he wants to clean house. Get rid of the FBI, Department of Justice, get rid of the IRS,
CIA.
Get rid of the CIA, all these things that, wow, what a radical shakeup that would be.
That guy is amazing. I can't wait. You know what? We're not far away from September 11th. I hear that could be a special date.
Dates and numerology and this and that.
I know.
And I'm not saying it's BS, but I'm at the point now that there's so much stuff that has happened and taken place that it's just really hard to figure out what's going on in life. It's one thing that, you wake up, get breakfast, you clean up, you go to work, you're productive, you go home, you receive a paycheck, you go on vacations, you buy things and this and that. And that is all upside down and topsy-turvy.
It'll never be that what we call normal or reality. Our reality is completely shifting.
It really is.
That's all I can say for sure.
So
Wow.
I guess the best thing to do is to keep having these discussions and, keeping the faith, keeping love as your forefront, because this evil and this negativity is proving itself. It's showing you right in the eye that you can see it, that this is not working out this way, and it's evil.
We got so much to talk about all the time, Rich. It could be go back on any subject.
Well, just take an even basic, simple thing like an ear of corn. What is an ear of corn? Right? With the bread, it's got too much sugar in it, or it's got glucose now. Red number dye 40 or whatever is bad for you. Everything.
White bread is the worst thing now, they're saying.
I remember growing up, Wonder Bread is the best slice of bread for your life, health, and now it really is. I just never thought in a million years that we would go so radically different from our upbringing.
The more white bread, the quicker you're dead.
Yeah. Well,
that's what one doctor says.
I'm sure with the stuff they put in now. They've been poisonous for so long. And then I hear stuff like half the world won't even eat what Americans eat because we're so poisoned. Even Mountain Dew is banned in other countries. Like, Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
How could that be? I grew up on Mountain Dew. They look at
the ingredients and say this is banned.
Again, I am just bewildered with everything. From basic breathing to religion to eating to working to the government. And dude, we
got a lot of cleaning up to do.
Yeah, you said it a couple times yourself, though. What a wonderful time to be in. And we get to see all this eye-opening, awakening type stuff. But
we got to look at it as exciting. And remember, we will be victorious and we will prosper like never believed before after this.
Right.
That's what the earth is changing to.
I get my intuition and my gut feeling is that we need more love. We need more love for our neighbors. Individuals, humans, as a race, as a species, we need to take care of each other. And the time is now, not tomorrow, not next week. It needs to take place now. The stuff is starting to hit the fan. And if you want to believe in religion and the rapture and all the stuff that might be coming and the Euphrates drying up and the trumpets and all this other crazy stuff,
the four horsemen,
it could be happening.
The tribulation and the rapture and all this.
It's like death. No one wants to die, but it's a part of life. It is a part of our society. So embrace the time that we have. Embrace the people that we have, because it seems like the only time that we really care about that is when they do pass.
Yeah.
So that we lost the ability to take care of the people that are with us now, and to benefit from each other.
Yeah.
So we have a long ways to go, and with the media, the politicians, the criminals, the evil cabal, just the negativity, the evil spirits, or whatever you want to call, we already have our plate full, and we need faith more than ever now. We got to have that hope, and we have to have that pride of being able to accomplish stuff together, because we can't do it individually.
Yep.
We all have to be part of that team. I can't say things I don't know. It blows my mind away, that's all the stuff that's going on.
You're a research kind of guy. You dig in and go down, tens and hundreds of rabbit holes just to, because that's your nature. You always want to learn and know more.
Right. That brings me up to you either take the red pill or the blue pill.
Yeah.
And I always thought, I always want the red pill. I want to know what's going on. But then the more you're going on, it goes, the more I wish I knew, because I want to go back to how I was blue pilled, little lemming. I'm just living my life, and I'm just trying to have fun and be loved and love the people that I want to be with. But wow.
Yeah, I remember one quote from a real famous writer and guy. He said, I quit trying to figure everything out a long time ago.
Yeah, and that's where I'm coming. There's no more figuring out. Just live, be happy. You don't control anything except what you feel in your heart is the only thing that you can kind of control. And you just have to live by that. And hopefully that puts enough good vibes and frequencies out so the next person does the same and vice versa. It does not make any sense, right or wrong. It's the agenda. And if you're for or against, that's what they're trying to pit us. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's the super elite, the super wealthy have the power. They have the money. They have the ability to do pretty much anything that they want. And if you don't believe me, look at the Biden family. Look at the Clintons. That's
Obama. Where did all that 150 billion go that he sent on pallets to Iran?
Again, yeah, I remember that.
Airplanes loads of U.S. dollars.
The billions was a big number that we couldn't fathom, and now trillions we can't fathom. And there are certain entities that have trillions of dollars that are controlling everything.
Yeah.
And no, Rich, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a conspiracy theorist. You have no idea. In one hand,
shut up and do as I say.
Yeah. On one hand, I understand that. And the other hand, it's like, I want to be proactive. I want to help. I want to help humankind.
Yeah.
At least make worthwhile my life on this planet, which it seems like the simple things I'm getting more purification out of, like watching a sunset, looking at the ocean, looking at the trees shimmer with the light and the nice wind and nature.
Yeah.
And then you have, don't go in the woods because, 411 and all this
I didn't even go there with you today.
I know, but it's like, I feel at home in the woods, but boy, they do try to make it like, no, you'd be better off living in a city under our control, under our dictatorship, and under socialism because
national forests are no good.
Yeah.
That's where all this stuff happens.
Apparently so.
Government land.
Oh, wow. That's another whole can of worms. So now that we got everybody thoroughly confused.
Where are we coming from? Every angle.
Oh, it's amazing. But I just want to say, hey, thanks for being able to stop by and throw a couple of your 4 cents in. And with a lot of the information that you get, a lot of people go, that Larry, he's crackpot, don't know what he's talking about. But when you start listening and seeing what's going around you, it's like, oh, wow. He knows things that are going on. So anyway, with that, I just want to say peace be with you, love you, and glad you're getting better and can't wait to get more information on you. And we will see you shortly.
And all the same, right back to you, Rich.
Sounds good, buddy.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. See, that's what you get when you get two old guys talking about nothing and everything. Thank you, Larry, for showing up. I appreciate it. And moving on, I was going to play you all those other clips with the FBI director and the committees and blah, 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 blah. But it's the same old stuff. But it just proves our point that these politicians are crooked and they are trying to control us for their own benefit, not ours. You have to find that out for yourself. And all you have to do is just look on the internet and look at many sources, and you will come to that same conclusion. All right, folks, you're not going to believe it, but I am going to make people cringe and go nuts and just say all sorts of stuff about dog whistling and racism. I'm going to set you guys off. The left is going to go blow up because I'm going to play you a song that apparently has got the nation up in arms. Check it out.
Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like, cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough, Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town full of good old boys, raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Ooh, try that in a small town.
Well, what did you think? Isn't that amazing? Can that song make people more triggered than they already are? I don't understand it. You know what? And if you are triggered, you're the problem. That song has nothing to do with that. It's just telling you, go ahead, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, especially in a small town. And I'm going to show you something. Thousands of miles away from us in Australia, they seem to get it. Here, have a listen. This is Sky Australia talking about this Jason Aldean song, which I want to say thank you, Mr. Aldean. That's an awesome song. I love it. And most Americans love that song. And apparently a lot of people in the world love it too. So listen to this from Sky Australia.
I just love it. It is
Great,
on
great song,
high
great song.
rotation.
Fantastic.
And let me check those lyrics, because if there's any racism, I want to be right across it. He says, well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Round here, we take care of our own. Frightening stuff, boys, frightening stuff. But as the cancel culture mob launched into full hysteria mode, a beautiful thing happened. Firstly, the singer, Jason Aldean, didn't do what most celebs do in this instance, which is issue a grovelling apology and promise to do better. Despite having done nothing wrong, he didn't do that. You know, the celebs, they just go into apology mode. Don't do it. If you haven't done anything wrong, don't apologise. And guess what? The public responded to that, because that song was sent to the #1 position. It was released in May. It didn't do much until the media lost their mind over the video. Now it's #1. And of course, that's triggered the ladies on The View.
And unfortunately, this became the #1 song on U.S. iTunes. We have a problem in this country about race, and the biggest problem is we refuse to admit that it exists.
Well, don't you think that a lot of this
It gets even better. Here is Whoopi Goldberg.
You know, and he shows these images. He's got folks from the Black Lives Matter movement, and he's talking about people taking care of each other. And I find it so interesting that it never occurred to Jason or the writers that that's what these folks were doing. They were taking care of the people in their town.
Yes,
Sure
yes,
were.
Whoopi, yes. Those thugs burning down buildings and looting businesses and bashing bystanders. Well, they're just taking care of folks. They were helping. Isn't it astonishing that a song that has no mention of race, a song about taking care of each other and your community, is seen as racist? Doesn't that say something about the accusers? If you hear lyrics against rioting and violence and think it must be an attack against the black community, then guess what? You're the racist.
Well said. I can't agree more. Thank God for the Australians. Love them. Wonderful, beautiful people. The world is beautiful. And if you're triggered, you need to figure out you're the problem. And with that, thank you for listening to Elusive Truth with Rich and Larry. Oh, and by the way, you want to get more triggered? Tom McDonald's coming out with a new song and video tomorrow. I'm sure you're going to love that. Great Tom McDonald, just like Jason Aldean, just spreading the truth. So thank you again. God bless you. We love you all. Keep looking for the elusive truth, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.